Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening if you're in the EU. It's nice to have people here. Thank you for coming. What are we going to talk about today? I have so much I want to talk about. The main topic will be the results of our mentorship survey. What do people need to be mentored on? And I'm glad to be able to help some of you catch a live show. I'm trying to do shows earlier. We'll talk about that maybe at the end of this. So while I kill just a minute for people to show up, and then we'll jump into the mentorship survey results and what they mean, because it's very interesting in so many ways. I will say ski season at my local hill ended. For those of you who watch, and it's not that many of you, the outdoor sports channel in our Discord, I'm 51 years old, and I have skied 51 days this year. So 51 and 51. And it's too many. It's a surprise to me, probably not to some of you. I've skied every other day since Christmas, roughly. Not in that pattern, but that many days, and it's too damn much. I didn't know. I set a goal of 50 days or maybe 51. I hit it, so I hit my goal, but it's too much. I haven't gotten to do other stuff. So, bizarrely, I'm kind of glad. I mean, look, there's still a couple ski resorts open. I might do 1 or 2 more days over the course of the next month on spring snow. But I actually feel bad that I posted that challenge. In the end, I felt like I was just reporting in on, the fact that I can go skiing and others of you have jobs, and it felt shitty. So I didn't mean it that way. If any of you took it that way, I didn't mean it that way. It was fun, hit the goal, like to ski. Moving on. So today's topic. Last week in Discord and on LinkedIn, I sent out a survey. Let me see where I got it. It was this survey. I'll pop it up real quick. We're going to be doing a lot of file sharing stuff today. So it was this survey where I just sent out top mentorship needs. At this point, exactly 100 people have responded. No, you don't need to go respond. At this point, we're done. The results are in. And the question was, hey, please list the 3 to 5 topics where you need the most help on where you need the most help. Let's see, does this say it? The top 3 to 5 topics where you need the most help as a mentee. So here it is, I guess. And we gave a bunch of suggestions. There were a bunch that were employment related. There were a bunch that were kind of not employment related. We did a survey. Okay, punchline. What the hell did people say? Well, first lesson. I had 2 great volunteers, Joe and Kai, who both went and tabulated the results, because we used a Google form which doesn't sort things really well. And so you get kind of, open text fields and lots of them. They had to be categorized. So I had 2 different people do the categorization. Here's categorization 1. And as you'll see, Joe here included in some of the other columns of Google Sheets, like what people specifically said or how he did the categorization. But not everything was super clear. He missed one. Joe missed one. Yeah, don't worry about it, Joe. You can go at it now if you really want to. Or maybe it was one of the ones you decided was a duplicate. Anyway, the number one request for help is networking. Now, what do I take away from this in this categorization? And that's important because I'll show the other one. And the key point is, even though both volunteers worked with the same data set, I gave them access to the same survey, their tallies differ a little. And that's because of human judgment of what bucket to put things in. Nonetheless, there is a pattern, and this is worth our looking at. The first thing that jumps out is networking. Everyone hears how important it is, but everyone, or at least a lot of people, right? 30% of 100 responses, basically, found it intimidating or that they could use help with it. And I think this is common. We all know how important a powerful network is, but we struggle to build one. And it's hard. And it's particularly hard if people aren't coming to you. Like a lot of my network gets built because people send me invites and I click accept. So that's kind of cheating, right? If you're starting your network and you don't have people coming to you, you've got to find a way to build it. This is not going to be a show on networking, but it points out how much that's a demand. Now, here's what I got from this show or from this data. Look at these top 4 answers. They all are in the 20s in this tally. And then there's this huge gap down to 16. There's a single answer with 16. And then we're into the 14s, which very roughly, twice as many people are worried about topics 1 through 4 as are worried about any topic down in here. And I would argue that topic 6, avoiding procrastination, is closely related to productivity. Joe and I talked about how those two could be folded in to one response if you wanted. You don't have to, but there's an argument that productivity, that I'm so sorry. Are you Jake? And I'm calling you Joe? It's JBR. I am so sorry. I have Joe in my head because of the AOE. I'm concatenating JOE, and it's my bad. I feel terrible about that. He's a volunteer, but he gave me his initials, so he's Joe now. We have renamed you. Welcome to the stream, Joe, formerly known as Jake. In any case, procrastination, we discussed how that's sort of like productivity. So the first point to take away is when you go out and survey anyone on a topic, or you get a lot of data, there's usually natural breakpoints. And you can look at those breakpoints to determine, okay, which of this can I filter out as noise? And if I scroll this down out of 100 responses, right, like only one person really wanted to know how to ask better questions. And interestingly, only a very few people wanted to hear about resumes. Probably because I do a ton of those shows. And even things like workplace politics, not that much. But then you've got these heavy hitter topics. I want to build a network. I don't know what the hell I want to do with my life or where I want to go next. I don't feel that productive, and I want to know how to move up. So now we know what people really care about, at least people who follow me. Oh, I love it. You guys are great trolling poor Joe, who used to be Jake. But hey, Age of Empires, what do you want, right? No, it's terrible. I'm such a... Names. What do you know? All right, let's look at the other data. Let's look at the other cut of this data. So Kai also did this, and Kai's name really is Kai because it's right here. It's spelled out. So Kai did something interesting, followed on to my thing, and broke them down into employment-related versus general, things that weren't. And so what you see here, I'll scroll this up a little if I can, because I see my pictures over a tiny bit of it. You'll notice some of the categories are the same. Lack of direction comes out slightly above networking in this one. Kai may have tallied at a slightly different point of the 100 responses because they trickled in. Productivity was here. And then for whatever reason, though, getting promoted the way Kai tallied it was 16. Versus getting promoted here is 23. So that's the one big difference in the apparent data. But yet notice there's still this really clear gap. The top 3 here, well into the 20s, and then we drop into the mid-teens. So what I take away and what I will be telling the crew of mentors we bring on is I'll be designing around these top 3 or 4 areas. Doesn't mean, by the way, that people can't get mentoring on work-life balance and giving performance feedback and how to call out bad behavior. All of that can be part of mentorship. But when we design both future shows and mentoring, we better count on these being some of the main areas of demand. Now, This is going to be a chat participation show in the sense that I need your feedback. So I'm going to take a second. I see Larson Streams here has been writing a lot. How would you estimate that the success criteria skew in terms of top 5 requests? It's pretty similar. The reason behind my question is there are people too focused on getting better at the wrong things. Oh, interesting. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. Getting promoted, it's a goal, but it's one of those things that you can only aim at directly, partially. Like you get promoted by doing better work. And so you're right, all these other things feed into doing better work. Similarly, so you're right, we have to differentiate between what people say they want and what they actually need, or what things feed in. And so that's a great point, actually. 4 and 5 seem to go together. Getting promoted, salary, comp, and negotiation. Kind of. Promoted is about how to move up in level. Salary and comp negotiation is literally about the act of wrangling. So they go together, but they're not the same skill. 2 pages. First page doesn't include write-ins. Second page is normalized. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Normalized data. I'm glad you're here, Kai, to point that out. I never even saw it. I'm glad you pointed that out. I'd have never known. I wasn't paying enough attention. All right. So if we go here, lack of direction is the killer winner. Networking is next. Is there a natural breakpoint? There's still a natural breakpoint. There's a breakpoint here. So in this view, there are 7 things in the top. 1 that gets 40 votes. 6 that get in the 20s, mostly in the lower 20s, and then we drop into the teens. And again, procrastination could go with productivity. It's debatable. But this is an interesting view. So what else got put in here? Holding people accountable and performance feedback jumped up, and lack of direction became the home run topic. Project management, 25. That also jumped in here. Interesting. All right. Thank you, Kai. I'll have to dig a little deeper into that. I filled out the surveys, and my answers seem to be in minority. Well, that's going to happen. And what it shows, here's one thing it shows. Some people are thinking about mentorship on how to get a job. Some people are thinking about how to grow. The other thing is Cat Life and Folklore. Look, we will design the network to try and work for anyone, but it is interesting to see where most of the audience is and what the most pressing concerns are. It's totally fine if what you need in your career is different. This is one of the things we've learned is mentoring needs to be a one-on-one match. All right, let's see what else Kai wrote here, because lack of direction, pulled further ahead by 12 votes, burnout. Yeah. Okay. Project management. Okay, this is a really good analysis. I'll have to dig through more. This is analysis of how soft votes got counted and why. Kai, thank you for doing this level of depth, by the way. This is going to be super useful, and I'm sorry I missed this tab. Is there anything else over here if I keep scrolling? Yeah, there's a lot to go digest. Giving feedback. Yeah, this analysis is really good. Shows some of the stuff people are fighting with. So, what I think we got from these 100 responses is a pretty good view of the types of things people want mentorship on. PMA Dota, thank you for the Prime resub and for 11 months of subscription. I'm going to check out the rest of the chat here real quick because I do want to learn from you. The great high-level topics. Lack of direction is a huge one. It is. It appears to be the number one thing, right? That and networking. And networking, I've preached so much in this channel, I'm not surprised. And then, of course, some of the results are from LinkedIn. So I'm not surprised people on LinkedIn, a networking site, want to do more networking. What do I do with my life? Sounds like an appropriate topic for my demographic. In some ways, to be fair, like it's easy to make fun of millennials or even Zoomers on the like not knowing what they want to do. That problem will revisit you your whole life. It will keep coming back around. So, what else we got? All right. The lack of direction kind of overlaps with Healthy Gamer. It does, for sure, Dorino, but I don't think Healthy Gamer will address it the way we will. We'll address it from the narrow scope of focusing on skills. I'm not going to get in a lot into the motivation part. In other words, I think the right thing is if someone is down or depressed or those pieces, I really think Healthy Gamer, Dr. K, is the right place for that. He's more skilled. It's his main focus. What we can do, though, is help people figure out what they could or should be doing or might be good at and how to go about it and how to have a plan. And I don't think, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because a lot of you cross over and watch Healthy Gamer. I do occasionally. I don't think he gets a lot into the planning part. Maybe one of you will tell me differently, but I don't think Healthy Gamer and even his coaching groups get a lot into how to form a life plan in a work sense, like that level of specificity. So, all right. Okay, so sweet. What do we do? Well, we could navel gaze and analyze this stuff forever. And I will do more of that offline, particularly with this great write-up that I just discovered in the second tab. I need to go through these pieces in more depth and really understand them. What are top and bottom slots? Yeah, so this is, I'll look at this too. What scored top and what scored poorly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. We need to pilot this. And I think to pilot it, the first thing I need to do is get a small pool of mentors together and form a pilot program. And I want to do that. We talked, when we did the proposals, people brought us proposals for how to be, how to automate and how to scale and how to have tools and how to market and manage and charge a fee to cover costs and all of that. And I 100% agree. That's where we will need to go if this is going to get big. Awesome. I volunteer as tribute. We are recruiting mentors right now, and I think you're volunteering to be a mentee. Although I might misunderstand that. So what we need to do for a pilot program is get together a set of mentors that I can work with, and we can try it out. And we can see what the issues are. What are the communication issues? What are the scheduling issues? What are the fit issues? The matching issues? What are the things that good, well-intentioned mentors can't handle or don't know? And what support do they need? So what I want to do is I want to recruit 8 to 12 initial mentors. Now, I've done some thinking about this, so let me share it. I have set up and will publish at the end of this show a mentor pilot program application. Now, again, this is going to be for people who want to be mentors, like Vimsen, like Rico Streaming Live, etc. So I tried to explain this. Here's where I'm literally going to read to you all, even though you can see it on the screen, a lot of you, because I want feedback of where I should edit this before I send it out. And Joe, formerly Jake, your stuff was not rubbish, okay? It was super helpful to me. Having 2 views of the data, really good. All right. So, to kick off our mentor network, we need a set of volunteer mentors to do an initial, hand-managed, small-scale pilot. We'll take 8 to 12 initial mentors, enough to learn, but few enough for me alone to manage by hand, because we're going to have to scale beyond that in the next step. Once we have a set of mentors, we'll meet once or twice for some initial discussion and light training via Zoom or Discord. We'll then later, not now, recruit an initial class of mentees. That's where those of you who don't want to be mentors can make a mad rush to be part of the pilot. A key aspect of selection for both mentors and mentees will be willingness to provide feedback and input to the program. So, thing one, if you want to be a mentor, you got to be willing to put in some effort to help us make the program good. In terms of actual commitment, here are the minimums I'm thinking of. And again, if somebody in chat thinks I've missed something, let me know. Availability to do a couple of pre-meetings as described and try to provide feedback on the program. This is not a huge ask. Couple hours over a couple weeks. Availability to mentor at least one person. Semi-monthly means twice a month. It's less ambiguous than bi-weekly, which can mean twice a week or every other week. Semi-monthly means twice a month for 3 months. So if you sign up to be a mentor, you're committing to mentor at least one person for at least 6 meetings. Now, you can do more. You can totally be into this, and you can mentor 3 people, and you can meet with them weekly, and no limits. I hope you don't burn yourself out. But this is the minimum. So if you can't do that, please don't sign up. Willingness to fill out this form and share your contact information. In other words, I need to know who you actually are. That's going to be part of it, is we need people who are comfortable being publicly known at some level, because I don't have the infrastructure to manage anonymity at this level, and you'll see more about that in a second. Optional but desired characteristics would include intention, not that you're committing because maybe you can't, but intention to continue helping build the program beyond 3 months, including assisting with mentor training. It would be great if you were willing to keep contributing. Second, be good to have at least a couple of people attempt to mentor multiple mentees. So what that means is, if we are so lucky as to end up with more mentor volunteers than we need, I will pick a couple that believe they have time to try mentoring more than one person, just so we can see how that goes. It would also be cool if there was someone who wanted to try a small group approach. So like intended to hold group meetings with several mentees, which by the way I've done, and it works. It provides different value because on the one hand, the mentees have to share their personal problems to more than one person. On the other hand, they then get input from peers. So it goes to that point of peer-to-peer support and peer feedback. So we'll see how that goes and what we need. And then finally, relevant experience. This is very carefully. I got to be very careful here. We need some mentors. You can't be completely new in your career. You've got to have something to share. I'm not building mentors who have nothing to share. It does not mean you need to be like me, or you need to have 20 years of experience, or even 5. It means you've got enough experience that someone else you could validly teach them. All right, I'm going to take a second and read chat real quick. Hang on. Yes, it is a fidget spinner. It's in fact, Twitch got into them right when they came out, and so it's the one and only official Twitch fidget spinner right when they came out. I fidget a lot. And then I drink coffee, so that makes a lot of sense. Fortnightly, I could say fortnightly. That's a good point. People would confuse that as somehow we're going to do our coaching in Fortnite. I love your comment, Kai, about trying to get some revenge for the design contest. That's funny. If you have mentors, need to be on the stream. I do not need to bring them on stream, I don't think. It might be cool if a couple mentors want to come on stream, but I don't expect to bring them all on stream. Okay, confusion, yikes. Not sure what that's about. Hello, Ethan Evans. What are we up to? What are we up to? All right. We have it written down at all times. You can always find out. There's today's topic. That's what we're up to. Okay, so what's in it for you? Doing good. Help define the program. Private mentor-only discussion forum to share your feedback and tough problems. So I will end up setting up a channel in Discord where only the mentors will be invited. I'll create a role, blah, blah, blah. And that way we can have mentor discussions and I can drop in and answer your hard questions about, oh my God, my mentee asked me this really difficult thing. What do I do? And I can say, I don't know. You're screwed. No, I can try and help out with that. The field you're in does not matter. I don't think. We're going to have the challenge. Well, we're going to get to that. It doesn't matter. We're going to have to, though, this is why you can't be totally secret, is we're going to have to advertise what we can mentor on. So let's say you're an artist and you want to mentor on art, then we have to recruit some mentees that would fit you. So anyway, the rest of the stuff I want to know, I don't have to share this necessarily, but I'd like to know your actual name. Presuming you have a LinkedIn, and if you don't, you haven't been listening to this show very well, I would like to know, get your LinkedIn so that I can know your background. And I think this is the simple tool we'll use to explain who's available to mentor. So again, this is why the initial mentors, the world's kind of going to know who you are. And if that bothers you a lot, probably don't volunteer for the pilot. I hope that discourages no one. I will say, by the way, I have a bunch of mods for this channel. Awesome is here. He's one of them. The mods in this channel now no longer have any bad work. Either Twitch has gotten a lot better or our community is just really good. The number of times we ban or time out idiots, it's once every 3 or 4 times I stream. So it's up to you, but I wouldn't worry too much about your LinkedIn. I mean, you have it out there in the world anyway, but it's your call. We're going to use, while there's other technology may be required to scale a pilot, we're going to use Discord for the first one. And so I need to know who you are in Discord. I won't share your email anywhere public, but it makes it easy for me to send things out, like, say, meeting invites or a Zoom invite. Checkbox of which things you can do: mentor one person, more than one person, small group. Here's to the question somebody asked: do you have to have a skill in a particular area? What do you want to mentor on? What do you feel qualified to mentor on? What kind of mentees would you like? And then the last one is a chance in case somehow there's way too many people. Why should I take you in round 1? So, is LinkedIn really banned in your country? Where are you from? Denishi Poulin. Yeah, you could just link a resume of sorts. That's cool. Russia. And LinkedIn is banned there? Wow, all right. I didn't know. Yeah, we'll work around it, man. I'll work with you on that. Vimson. I do not have an ideal candidate in mind. I have in mind a mixed set of mentors who have some experience in a skill to where they have something to offer and who want to participate and help someone else as well as help build the program. Block Magician. That should be a public command too. Anytime you want to know the drink, it's right there. And I'm not sure how long this show will be, but I'm actually going with pure coffee today. Well, because I have other things to do today, basically. One side effect of doing streams earlier in the day is my interest in doing hard cocktails is less than when I used to do them more in the Pacific time evening. Sans from 81, welcome. All right. Yeah, I need some way to know your background. So the LinkedIn question, if you don't have LinkedIn or it's banned, you can VPN or you can send me something else. We just need a way to be able to tell people a little bit about your background, because if you play this forward, and we'll get the mentors together and talk about How do we want to select mentees? How do we want to invite mentees for the pilot round? We have to have some way to match them up, because one of the things that's definitely come out is that matching up between mentees and mentors is critical, because if there's not chemistry, if there's not fit, even 6 1-hour meetings over the course of 3 months will be kind of a waste of everyone's time. Yeah, we can just figure out a resume thing or a link to one. All right. So I think we have lots of people who want to do this. Did I miss anything in this form? That's the question. Is anybody unclear who's listened to this? If I post this in Discord and say, look, if you want to be a mentor in the pilot program, fill it out. Am I missing anything? Design time here, time zone. I thought about time zone. Let me go ahead and put that in here. I said available, but we'll put in number 4, able to operate at least a bit in the U.S. Pacific time zone for meetings. So I can do stuff, for mentor meetings. So good call out. Anything else I'm missing? See, we're going to write this together. Yep, good point. The initial pilot will be done in English. I think if we build this network well, I can totally imagine a world where there are spin-off pods of the network that mentor in other languages. I think that'd be fine. In fact, great, right? It would be great to see that happen in the EU. It'd be great to see it happen in India and around the world. And so I'm all for it. But yes, this part will be in English. I'm not going to write that down, I don't think. I could say parentheses in English here. The main hours of availability, time zone's close enough. I think that's between the mentor and the mentee. All right, cool. Anything else I'm missing? Going once, going twice? This will become final, and I'll post it at the end of the show. I'll share out a link. All right. Let me see here real quick. We're going to come back to me. So in a lot of ways, that's what I wanted to cover in this show. Doesn't have to be a long show today, but I have a couple other things I could talk about. Let's see. Yeah, I intend to, Otto von Bisquick, that's exactly, I intend to provide guidance and assistance to mentors. So if we go back, hang on. I can't, look, I'm not going to be available all the time, but the idea is one of the things you get is a place where I'll try to help you. Private mentor-only discussion forum. And the other thing that we'll do is up here somewhere. It talks about we'll do some training. And I've thought about what that training needs to look like. Here's one of the things that makes training mentors really hard, doing any sort of deep training. Everybody's problem is unique. So someone signs up for mentorship, they might want to talk about any of these topics. They might want to talk about, in this alternate view, any of these topics. They're the same topics, just ordered differently. The point is, I can train an approach, and we can talk about approach, but in the end, if the person you're mentoring asks about work-life balance, the good news is I think I have a show on almost all of these. So for mentoring with me, at a dead minimum, you always have a trick, which is go to my YouTube channel. I don't have one on lack of direction necessarily. So maybe I need to make that. But I have shows on productivity, networking, getting promoted, giving performance feedback, procrastination, / urgency, because these two are related in a way. They're both productivity management. How to own a screw up, interviewing. At a dead minimum, if that's what your mentee wants to talk about, you can go watch the VOD together and discuss it. Like, that is one way we could do mentorship in this community. Is there a minimum criteria for mentors? Not yet. Did he state a due date to sign up? Oh, that's a good point. I didn't. I'll probably pull the link down or close it, but it's probably 72 hours or something, or a week, because we want to move on. So maybe, look, here's how it's really going to work. I'm going to put it up in Discord, and if I get the 8 to 10 people I need, I'm going to be done. If I don't, I'll have to go out to LinkedIn, where I'm sure I can get people. The problem is I'll get too many. I'll have 200 people apply, and then sorting them out is a problem, because I have 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I think a lot of people volunteer, and I actually don't want to bring in. I have a lot of high power friends there, and I don't think right now, while we sort out the first round of this program and how it works, dragging in a bunch of executive mentors is good for us. We don't have our shit together on how to run this program. And so I don't want to drag in high power. So those of you who are listening right now, you're going to have the advantage of going first. You have the first shot before other people even see this announcement to know it's coming out here in a few minutes. And if you really want to apply to be a mentor, make sure you get in, because I'll probably wait 3 or 4 days and look at the trend. And if by the end of the week I'm not getting enough people, I'll probably have to reach out somehow on LinkedIn. And Modern Picasso, that's exactly it. I want to do a small pilot and get things sorted out, because to do this on a big scale and really drag in the LinkedIn world, which will bring us higher power mentors and scale, we need to be organized with our technology, our standards, etc. And so I'm going to run a 3-month pilot, or at least part of one, first. All right. Dyslexic Duck. Yeah, nothing in particular. This is open. So the list of things we just ask, look, you can go see the other shows on the history, but when I surveyed the community about what they most need, they said mentorship and peer support. So we're trying to figure out how to provide that. What's the link to the Discord? You're killing me, Rico. It's like right there above you in chat. But all right. I think we're good on this topic. So let's come back here. What else should we talk about today? So if you have any more comments on that, I'll post this in a few minutes. Oh, wow. Look at that. The auto post. See, I do this too. So if somebody you know needs coaching and they want it just from me, that's where they go get it. But you pay for it then. Here, what you get is free. And in this network, it will be free. At least particularly in the pilot. But probably other than maybe a small administrative fee, our goal is to keep this free. So what's a couple other fun things to talk about? I have 2 other things to talk about. I'm just going to sit back. So the main concern, you'll get a heck ton of mentees. That's absolutely true. And we're going to filter on that somehow. But first I have to have the mentors, and we have to try it with just a few mentees from our Discord community. And then when we start to open it up, we do have schemes, sure, free mentorship, right? We're going to have to control and regulate that without, my goal isn't to do it. I could turn it into a business and regulate it with money. But that's never been what our community is about. It's about helping other people grow and doing it, if you're one of the people giving the help, doing it because you want to, because you want to invest in others. But then we do have to figure out what's the bar. And what entitles you to get in line to be mentored if there's too much demand. So How do you measure success of the pilot? Oh, folklore, good question. First, I don't know. Second, so I need to think about that more. Here are some of the things I'm measuring. 1, can I do this? What is the load on me? So I can only measure that subjectively by attempting it and finding out. 2, how do the mentors enjoy it? So I'll get feedback from them. Basically, someone suggested in the design that we do, use a net promoter score. And so one of the ways I intend to measure success is ask the mentors, how was that for you? Would you do it again? Was that satisfying? Because if it's not sustainable, if the mentors are like, wow, that was a lot of work and it sucked, we're going to know this is headed down the drain really quickly. Which is a survey I probably haven't done yet. So I need to talk to the mentors. Why do you want to do this? Like, why do you want to mentor? What powers you to mentor? That's a great question. That's so good. We're going to go back over here and add it. We're actually going to stick it in here. Right. Let's see if we click on this and then we add and then we move. All right. By the way, for those of you who don't use it, Google Forms pretty amazing. Like I just construct this shit on the fly. It's all free. Google does a lot of good work. They are an amazing company. They may be also evil in some ways or whatever, but their free tools are pretty good. Question: why do you like to mentor? What's the right word here? What drives you? What motivates you? Motivate. All right. Why do you... All right. We got to understand why people want to do this. And yeah, then we'll have to do Net Promoter. In the end, here's what we're going to do. I should have explained the master plan. Recruit some mentors, talk to them, train them a little. Recruit some mentees. Do a very short training for them that amounts to how to be a good mentee, how to not be one-sided, how to get value. Then match them up. So that's going to be the third stage. How do we match them up? Fourth, keep a list. List is easy. Who are the extra people that I couldn't take on as mentors, if any? Who are the extra mentees we couldn't match in the pilot? Okay, great. Run the pilot. Send people off. See what they do for 3 months. Get feedback along the way. I'll watch the Discord. I'll poll people, maybe at the halfway point, maybe at the end point, using probably Google Tools or something else, Google Forms. I'll poll people and get their feedback. Then at the end, we'll do a debrief. And by the way, mentors are not required to go on stream, but if some of the mentors, I know some of them be willing to, we'll probably have a group discussion on stream. Maybe with the mentors and what they saw, maybe with the mentees and what they saw. Then as a community, we have to plan how to scale it up. What technology are we going to use? How are we going to take all those great proposals we got and turn them into a larger program based on having done a pilot and learned? So what really worked? What are the real issues? By the way, I realize I never intended to, but I am accidentally exemplifying how to build a business in an interesting way. How do you research a market? That's what I'm doing. How do you design a product? That's also what I'm doing. And I'm doing a lot of it with input from you and surveys from you, and even with having put out a competition to help design the product. But what I'm trying to do here is literally create product market fit as well as scoping. And now I'm running a pilot, running a beta, running an alpha, just like you would for a game, just like you would for an app. Motivates you. Okay. Yeah, so file the system, we probably are going to do that. Did I misspell motivates here? What motivates you? What motivates you as a... All right, I want to be super clear here. Not what motivates you in life. Yeah, Rico, I got it. You're absolutely right. It'd be great to have some level of vetting, both the mentors and the mentees. I agree. That's a tough one. Because in the end, there are some things that make it possible. First, people can opt out. Second, the fact that probably both the mentors and the mentees are going to submit a resume or something like LinkedIn. LinkedIn would be my default, but obviously I just got word that it doesn't work in Russia. People are, at some level, public, real people. Okay, let me just say, Rico, that's an unsolved problem. So other than the fact that they're public people and that anyone can opt out at any time and just say, hey, this isn't working. I can't work with Fred. He seems to be dishonest. Ravi seems to be a criminal or abusive. I don't know. And I do realize that's a problem, particularly because if you imagine women as either mentees or mentors, they have to worry a lot more about potential problems than, say, I do. And I don't have a good solution for that. But I have even less of a solution prior to building technology that anonymizes or hides things. So here's the thing. For round one as a pilot, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to trust that within our Discord community, we can recruit good people. And if we don't, we can throw them out. And we do have to solve that longer term. And I don't have a good way to solve it. Yes. So I'm not going to repeat all the answers for the folks in chat asking about mentors and mentees. We're only doing mentors right now. And the essence is, if you want to be a mentor, you have to have some skills that you can mentor others on. Modern Picasso. Yeah, so Modern Picasso, the issue there is I don't have time to screen everybody, right? So we'd have to figure out how to scale that. Like, I love the idea that there would be a screen. I'm not going to do them. I have a life. And I probably, a lot of the mentors I'll end up knowing because I know this community, and probably a lot of the mentees as well. That's a great screen, but we would, in the ultimate version, we would need to have someone who could do that work. Now, if there's a volunteer who's known to me in this community and wants to screen everyone in round one, great. Otherwise, for the pilot, it's going to have to be fine. And if you're terrified, Rico, I hear you. If you're that worried about it, the pilot is not the place for you. I'm just not going to build protections into it. And it's not because I don't empathize with your point. It's because it's too much effort for a pilot while we figure things out. And then later, I think we're going to have a scaled way. But going to this point that's in the application, because you do raise a great point. Item number 1, optional but desired characteristics would include intention to continue helping, including assisting with mentor training. Well, intention to this could be including mentor selection, including mentor measurement, right? That's what we need. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's put this live. Let's go have fun. Can I do that without screwing anything up? Nope, we don't want a pre-filled link. All right, I've forgotten. All I have to do is hit send. And then send via link. Shorten the URL. Copy. All right, everybody ready? Let's see if we can crash Google. We're not really going to do that. We're going to flip over to Discord. Now you can all watch me type in Discord. Okay. The mentor not Mentee, Mentor application is up. If you would like to be considered for the pilot program to be in the first few mentors in our network, fill out this Google form. I plan to choose people by the end. No. All right, I was setting a deadline. I hope to choose people by the end of the week, comma, so fill it out sooner rather than later. Questions or discussion go to all right. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure. I'll double check that real quick. Yeah, Rico, you're definitely look, you're right. I've thought about this, right? There is a liability problem. I don't know what it is. I'll need to get a lawyer at some point. But I understand the problem that if I set up a community that matches two people together and then they do bad shit, that's going to have to be part of it. Like I'm going to have to, I could go edit this or have a disclaimer that says, disclaimer, you may be tracked down at your home, cut apart, murdered. Vivisectionists may come to your house. You may find yourself fed to rats, bats, cats. You may find yourself run through a wood chipper and sprayed into a stream. That's after months in a basement being tortured. Oh my God, the things that could happen. Your reputation, your job, your boss, your neighbors, your government. They are all going to come for you. Joining this program is the worst thing you could possibly do. Much worse than death, probably worse than going to hell. You have no idea the downside doom and ruination that will be dropped upon you as a part of any form of participation. So, if you don't have a painful death wish, don't apply. And yes, we might just use that clip. That's like, in court, they throw that out and say, that was obviously sarcastic. No one could have taken that warning seriously. The fact that my client was then run through a wood chipper, Evans is responsible. Bullshit. But that's how our great American society works. Oh, man. Hey, Dennis, we can find you in Russian, man. We just put out a bounty. We don't have to find you. We just need to have other people find you. Duh. Oh, man, we could talk tort reform. Pretty based statements? Based? Biased? What? I'm not biased. I mean, I'm actually very biased, I'm sure, but I'm not sure what you're talking about in this case. Anyway, it was fun. That was really fun. Going on that rant. So, true story. I founded a club, co-founded, joined. We built a club in my college called KGB after the KGB. Because there was a group, I went to Carnegie Mellon, and there was a group called the Carnegie Involvement Association, or CIA. Got it. We thought that if there was a CIA, we needed a KGB, so we made one. Yeah, all right. Story for another time. The form is shared in Discord. I haven't shared it yet. I need to hit send. Hold on. Let me do it. Here we go. Boom. It's posted. So, if you're after it, you should be able to get it. I'll put it here too. Mentor Pilot Program app. Apply by late this week if you want to be first-ish. Boom. Posted in 2 places. It's there. So, and we'll start getting responses here soon, I'm sure. But that's all right. We're going to take that down and not look at it because I don't want to look at them all up front. So, here we go. Here I am. All right. That was fun. Thank you for helping me co-design it and good suggestions. Plus, I had fun doing that rant. You are so right that we need to do a disclaimer. I need you all to keep me honest on that kind of stuff. So well done. Would it be possible for someone to be both? Yes, absolutely. It is possible for someone to be both a mentor and a mentee. That is, in fact, the end design of the network. Honestly, is it should end up being like a pyramid scheme. In other words, I hope to bring in some pretty heavy hitters who want to do good from my community of fellow Amazon vice presidents and the like over time. I hope to bring some of them in and then have it like trickle down. Pyramid scheme can be a good thing, right? It doesn't have to be a Ponzi scheme. To be a pyramid scheme. So I hope that it's trickled down and the highest level people are, remember, mentoring other people grows you. I'm working on a book. I've talked about that before. A lot of my book is going to be written based off examples of things I've learned here. Things I've learned you need. I'm writing a book for this audience. I wouldn't know what to write if I hadn't talked to you and surveyed you. So you are helping me write the book. Well, that trickles down, right? Mentors usually get something from the mentee relationship. I posted a video a couple days ago, a Simon Sinek short video. And that video talked about how he thought he had a mentor and the guy he finally realized it was just a friendship. And so, that friendship basically formed the basis of what began as a mentorship. So ultimately, it's good. It should work out that way. All right, I'm going to stop playing around Discord so I can look at you. Whoop, wrong window. This is weird, but it's an intern project. I built a Well, Ardzard, love to hear more about that. Decision-making in a flip pyramid company would be fun to watch. It would. All right. I think we've covered enough of this, man. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about something else for a little while. Feel free to keep commenting. I'm sure many of you will apply. Feel free to invite others to apply. We will then open up. As soon as I get a set of mentors, we'll have probably the much hotter competition to be in the first 10 or 15 mentees. If you don't get in that, never fear. I do intend to build this for the long term. So, and I am on fire today. So what else should we talk about? All right. We're going to totally switch gears. For whoever's editing this later, whether that's Awesome or Pashi or whoever the editor is, you can probably cut it here. Maybe put the next part in another video. Maybe not. But like, whatever. We're probably an hour in. This is the cut time. So, what else do I think would be fun to talk about? I started taking a meditation class. I signed up. Oh, geez. It's a well-known meditation paradigm created by a guy named John Kabat-Zinn, who's like, in a way, a father of American secular meditation practices, called mindfulness-based stress reduction. I want to learn more about it. I want to learn more about managing my mind. And we're doing these things. The first week we had a class and then we have like homework. The first week is doing what they call body scans. Body scans is basically you spend all this time meditating and like trying to get in touch with your big toe and then your little toe and then your left ankle. And I find it very damn weird so far. Now, I'm open-minded. It's not doing anything for me yet, except putting me to sleep. But I'm sure there will be someone here very shortly telling me what a great idea body scans are and how they change their life. So I guess it's like basic meditation 101. Actually, Baborka, I've done meditation live on stream with Dr. K before. He has me staring at a candle sometimes. So the candle is right here, and I had it lit earlier today. But Dr. K doesn't have time to take me through one-on-one. Devin incoming. Could be. Is Devin getting ready to stream, actually? He hasn't been around in a while. I don't see any notice from him that he's going to be live. He's been live very rarely recently. So, all right. So anyway, I'll report back on that. But, as I told my wife, I was hoping to learn to levitate in week 1. And apparently you got to do these other things before you can levitate. I'm reading chat real quick. Oh, a new program. Okay. I'd love to hear more about that, Sandstrom. All right. So what else we talk about? I wanted to share that because it'll be interesting to talk about the results when we get the chance. Like, what are the results? What do I learn? I will say this is fun. The place I went, they had a sliding tuition scale where you could pay any of like 5 or I think 6 different tuitions from the class, which were like, they started with like, I am an oil baron and I want to sponsor, and I not only want to pay for myself, but I want to pay for somebody else. And then there was like, well, I'm a tiger owner, so I can't quite pay that much, but I'm going to, donate some. And then there's like, I'm going to pay the list price of the class. And then there were like 3 levels of I'm a student and I'm broke and I need it very cheaply. It was really interesting. It was very pay what you can. So Dr. K promotes a type of mindfulness, I think. A lot of his wisdom is rooted in Eastern meditation or Eastern practices, of which meditation is one. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Sandstrom, that's fascinating. I'll have to see more about that. Artzard, I'm scrolling back to your original comments. We could query the internal database to query people who sign up for the program, keywords you might put in. So we're going to have to figure out matching. So if you want to help with that when the time comes, we won't do it for the pilot. I'll do hand-based matching. Basically, I and the mentors will pick. But later we'll do that. We'll have to have some sort of approach. Do tiered pricing, and it's surprising how many people pay the top tier. That's true. NVA Hitch, thank you for the Prime sub. Make it tender. We've talked about that. We've joked about swipe left to mentor, swipe right to decline mentoring. Dr. K references concepts from acceptance and commit therapy. Huh. Cool. I don't know that. Corey, you're very welcome. All right. What else do I want to talk about? I think that's good for today. I was going to bring up one other topic. So that's a tease. I have something else on my mind, but it's not well formed and it needs a show of its own. So maybe that's what I'll do later this week. I don't know. But it's been good catching up with you all. I hope those of you who have the skills to mentor apply, who want to be highly motivated. If you don't want to do that, please don't. And we'll get this moving. We're going to build something neat here. We're going to figure out something for the future that really helps people. You can be part of helping people. You can be part of helping me scale this message. I know a lot of you have benefited from it. And it's not impossible, as someone's saying here, to make a Mentee tender. It's not. It's just a little dark. Might want to use a different name. All right. So this cracks me up. Someone named Bestiality is watching, and they just followed, which means in 1 minute they'll be able to chat. And I just got to say, years ago I worked at a search engine, and it turns out people can't spell their kinks. And so while bestiality was a very common search term, so was bestiality, because people could not spell their kinks. So way back in the day, we knew that streaming music was going to be big because at Lycos, the search engine I worked at close to 20 years ago, one day MP3 became the number one search term in place of sex. So the number one search term on Lycos for years and years and years on the internet had been sex. And when MP3 overtook it, we're like, this digital music, it's going to be a thing. All right, everybody. I'm going to call it good for today. I got a bunch of work to do. Yes, I'm retired, but today is a work day, as it were. It's been fun catching up with you. I will come back to you as soon as we have the mentors picked out. We'll go to the next step. And we'll talk about the secret undisclosed topic, as well as some of the data and what we're doing next. Until then, get in the Discord, pay attention to each other. I love it when people post success stories. We have a bunch of people who've gotten raises, new jobs. Everybody be pulling for Awesome. He's got a big interview coming. It's no pressure, but he's going to kill it. He's had interview training. I want to thank both JBR and Kai. JBR, who I misnamed Joe, but is apparently actually Jake. He can be Joe to us, but Jake and Kai, they both helped out by putting together the data, all of you who contributed today. And I look forward to seeing your mentor applications if that's what you want to do. Until then, cheers, everyone. See you soon.